Today we are working on 11.5 area of trapezoids. I know we also did yesterday 11.5, but we only focused on the triangle part, so I just split yesterday's up into 2 lessons. So today we're just going to be focusing on the trapezoids. The first term I want you to learn today is the base. We've used the base for the last 2 shapes, but this one says it's the set of parallel lines, okay? Is this right here, if I have this line, is that line parallel with it? No, what is that?
Parallel.
That's intersecting because they crossed over each other, right? Parallel lines means they're going in the same direction and they will never touch each other. So let's talk about these lines right here. This line, if it was to go on and on forever, and then this line. Are those parallel lines?
Yes.
Okay? I heard many people say yes. Look, if this continued to go, what happened?
They touch each other.
They touched each other. They intersected, okay? So those cannot be parallel lines. Do you guys see any that on this could be parallel lines?
Yes.
Where are they at?
The bottom and the top. And the bottom.
You are correct. This right here would go on and on forever, and so would this, and those two would never touch each other. So those are the parallel lines, which makes them the base of our trapezoid. Then let's see, the height forms a right angle with the base. So you can see right here, there's a right angle, so that's going to be our height. This is going to be a new formula that I want you guys to memorize. Your quiz on Monday will have all these different shapes, and you're going to want to have all of these different formulas memorized. So repeat after me. A equals 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times height. Let's say that all together one more time. A equals 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times height. Listen, yesterday we talked about the triangle, 1/2 times base times height. The only difference is here, there was only one base of a triangle, but look at this. There's 2 bases for a trapezoid, okay? So I want you to work on memorizing that formula. For example number 1, it's asking us to find the area of the trapezoid. So just like always, we'll always start off with our formula. What's the new formula we just learned for area of a trapezoid?
1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times height.
Good job. Since we know we're looking for the area, we're just going to drop down our equal sign, and we'll also drop down the A for the area. Once again, you'll drop down the 1/2, and then let's see what it is that we know. Base 1 and base 2. We know we can find the bases by looking for the parallel lines. Which 2 numbers are my parallel lines?
7 and 14.
Okay, so we've got 7 inches, because that's going that way, and also 14 inches. Those are my parallel lines. Honestly, it does not matter which one comes first, okay? Because if you add 7 plus 14 or 14 plus 7, you're going to get the same exact answer. What I typically do is I'll take the top one and I'll put that as my base 1. And then the bottom one, I'll do base 2. But once again, order does not matter when you're adding 2 numbers together. And what is our height? 10. Now we're going to drop down the equal sign again. A equals 1/2. Here's one thing that we learned about PEMDAS. What does P in PEMDAS stand for? Is there any work I can do inside those parentheses? Yes. What is 7 plus 14? 21. So we're going to drop that down and then bring down your times 10. Drop down the equal sign again and the A, and now you're simply going to multiply together 1/2 times 21 times 10. Carson, what would that be?
105.
105, okay? So we're finding the area, so what would your units be? Inches squared. Thank you for remembering to square the units because we are finding the area. Problem B is going to be done the same exact way, so let's all start off with saying our formula together. Excellent. Thank you for not forgetting about that H at the end. Okay, who wants to help me out with what to do? Micah, go ahead.
So,
First thing, drop down your equal sign and your A.
Equal, and then your A to the left. Okay, so we're 1/2 down. Alright, and then you put parentheses. And then you're 5 plus 11. H.
Do we know what our H is?
Yeah, 6.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and plug in that 6 also. Okay, now we can see there is nothing we can do with the A. We're just going to drop it down. Parentheses first.
16.
Okay, very good. So we've got 1/2 times 16 times 6. And now, Micah, what is your area? Okay, 48, and then what would the units be?
Centimeters squared.
Centimeters squared. Any questions for Micah on how he did that problem? All right, nice work. Number 2 asks us to find the unknown base or height of the trapezoid. So the difference is now it gives us the area, but it is not going to give us, for this case, the height. Still, we know we're going to start off with the same formula that we've had. So what is the new formula we learned today for a trapezoid?
Equals 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times height.
Good job, guys.
All right. First things first, I want you to pull out your red pen, drop it down with the equal sign, okay? This, once again, as I said yesterday, was the greatest area people kind of messed up with where to put things on the left or the right of the equal sign. Maddox, do I know what my area is?
Yes.
What is it? 66, okay? So instead of putting an A, I'm going to put a 66. Drop down your half. Hannah, do I know base 1?
Yes.
What is it?
8.
8. Jaden, do I know base 2? 14. And Gavin, do I know my height?
No.
I do not, so I'm just going to bring down the H. Next up, use your red pen, put your equal sign. Can I do any work on the left of the equal sign? No, so what do I do with the 66?
You keep it.
Keep it, drop it down, okay? Remember, PEMDAS, parentheses first. So let's go ahead and do those parentheses first. What is 8 plus 14?
22.
22, so we've got half times 22 times H. Once again, drop down your equal sign and your 66 that's to the left. And is there any work that I can do on the right side?
1/2 times 22.
1/2 times 22. Darcy, what is half of 22? 11. And then, once again, this is where a lot of people messed up. You have to drop down that H. You can't just leave it there. Okay, so drop down the H. Now our goal is to get H by itself. Taylor, how do I get H by itself? Divide by 11 on both sides. When you do that, guys, what's your answer?
H equals 6 meters.
Okay, H equals 6, and what was it?
Meters.
Meters. Should it be meters squared?
No.
Why not?
Because it's only
Because
the,
we're not
it's
finding
not
the
the
area.
area.
Look, I'm finding the height. I'm not finding the area. Yes, up here, they already found the area. So I'm not trying to put meters squared. Instead, it's just going to be meters. Problem B is still the same exact instructions as problem A. The only difference is now we're looking for base 1 instead of what we were looking for before. Okay, so let's start with the formula. Everybody say it together with me. What's our formula? A equals 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times height. Okay, Deasia, do I know my area? What is it? 202.5. Pearson, do I know base 1? I do not, so just do base 1. Pearson, do I know base 2? What is it? 18. And Mickey, do I know my height? 13.5. Drop down your equal sign. Hannah, is there anything I can do to the left of the equal sign? No, so I'm just going to drop down 202.5. Over here, is there any kind of work I can do inside my parentheses?
No.
There's no work because I cannot add a letter and a number. Is there any work that I can do on this whole side over there? Yes, what can I do?
1/2 times 13.5.
Very good job. We have to multiply a half times 13.5. What is half of 13.5?
6.75.
6.75. Now, I used up the half. It's like I can get rid of that. And I multiplied it times 13.5. But what is still left there?
B1 plus 18.
Thank you for saying B1 plus 18. Don't leave that 18 alone. So we still have to multiply that by B1 plus 18. Now, long ago, we learned the distributive property where you have to multiply the outside by everything on the inside. Do you guys remember that? But there's an easier way that I could just get rid of something outside the parentheses. If I wanted to get rid of this 6.75, what would I do to it? Divide it on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and divide this by 6.75, and then I've got to be fair and do it to my left side. What happens to 6.75 divided by 6.75?
It cancels out.
It cancels out. It turns into a 1. So I'm just going to put an X on top of that because I don't need it anymore. On the right side, what is still left over there?
2.5 divided by 6.
On the right side.
Oh, the right side. 8b1 plus 18.
Okay, then I have to drop that whole thing down, base 1 plus 18. And then come to this side. What is 202.5 divided by 6.75? 30. Now, is base 1 by itself?
No.
What's still there?
18.
18. Plus 18. What's the opposite of plus 18?
Minus 18.
Minus 18. If I do minus 18 to the right side, I've got to do it to the left side. This will cancel out, and on the right, I'm left just with base 1 equals what, guys? 12 inches. Okay, because I'm not finding the area, we don't want to square those, so 12 inches is correct. Does that make sense how to do that?
That's a lot of work.
Not really.
Yes, it is. This one, we found the area of a triangle yesterday. I want you to try to do this on your own. If you don't remember how to do it, go ahead and pull out your notes from yesterday. All right, I saw a lot of excellent answers. What was the formula you guys used?
A equals 1/2 times B times A.
All right, what was our base?
6 inches.
And what was our height?
5 inches.
And what did you get for your answer?
15 inches squared.
15 inches squared is correct.
Oh, I got another.
For this one, we're trying to find the perimeter and the area of the parallelogram. What is the formula for a perimeter of a parallelogram?
B equals 2L plus 2W.
Okay, remember, perimeter means the what?
The inside.
It's the outside. Okay, so basically, we could add 9 plus 5 plus 9 plus 5, all right? This is where a lot of people just got tricked up. They tried to use the height in their length and their width of a parallelogram. Remember, perimeter is just the outside, so you do not need to use the number that's there in the middle. So our length is going to be the 9, and our width is going to be what? 5. What's 2 times 9?
18.
2 times 5?
10.
When you add them together, what do you get?
28 millimeters.
28 millimeters. Should I square it?
No.
Why not?
Because you're looking for perimeter, not area.
You're finding the perimeter, not the area, okay? So, once again, if you were to add 9 plus 5 plus 9 plus 5, you would get 28, okay? Next up, we're also trying to find the area of the parallelogram. What's the formula?
A equals B times 8.
Okay, what's my base?
9 millimeters.
What's my height? 4.5. When you multiply those together, what do you get?
40.5 millimeters squared.
How many of you would say you got that correct?
I got them all right.
All right. So on your quiz on Monday, it's going to be over the trapezoid, the parallelogram, when you're going to be trying to find the perimeter and the area, and then also over the triangle, okay? Go ahead and write this down for tonight's homework. There are only 8 problems tonight.